Welcome! We'd like to show you some of the new features we've added to version 2 of CabinetSense that gives you room layout and scene management. You'll notice at the top there are now 4 tabs. We have our perspective tab, our overhead or plan, and a floor tab. We've also have a project tab where you can put things that you don't necessarily want to show in your drawing. We'll go to Imperial Measure, drag our room layout or wall layout tool, and you'll notice down in the right hand corner I can enter the length of the wall that I want. I can also enter a length followed by a comma and the degree of rotation that I want the wall to have. And there's my room. Room layout and placing components in version 2 is very simplified and quite intuitive. I can place cabinets in the plan view. I can also place while I'm in perspective view. In this version, there's no support for windows and doors, but you can easily modify a wall and cut openings. And here I'm just simply going to put an arbitrary window in. We'll lock the wall back up so that we don't move the wall while we're placing cabinets. I found the midpoint of the sink cabinet, the midpoint of the hole of the opening of the window, and now my cabinet is centered underneath the window. I'm using a placeholder for the dishwasher that gives me the exact spacing that I want. You'll notice CabinetSense has dropped in this cabinet and it's overlapping the corner cabinet. There's a new feature that will take the cabinet and realign it to the opening. And you're in control of when you want to do that. Okay, so we go take a look at our plan. It's coming together nicely. Another thing that you can do, scene management is a big feature of version 2. I've now clicked on 3 of the walls. I'm going to add a new scene, and I'm going to call it my sink elevation view. All the other walls disappear. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to pull it back 36 inches. There's a bunch of new features, a toolbar in CabinetSense. I have a Face Me feature, so whatever component you click, if you click the Face Me, it brings that component face on to your view, no matter what angle it actually is in the model. Unclick 3D, and now I'm in a 2D layout environment. And I'm going to start placing my upper cabinets. So go to perspective. I'm going to put an applied end on. I'm going to move it 75 millimeters to the right. I'm going to take it, make a copy, and go 75 millimeters to the left. Oops. I'm going to go back to metric measure now. And you can work in either. So now we'll place our upper cabinets. I've just dropped in a single door cabinet, which is, in my sample library, my desired width of a cabinet. I'm going to use my fill function. It tells me I want 4 cabinets. So in that case, I really want 2 doubles. So I'm going to remove this, do a fill, and let it size it for me appropriately. We'll go to this side. It wants 3. We'll change the door swing, remove these 2, and put in a double. Going back to perspective. Okay. Let's create another view. And I'm going to call this the pantry elevation. And same thing. Pull it back 36 inches. That's just where I like to pull back my section plane. Hide it. Face me. Put it into 2D mode. Okay. Bring out an applied end for the pantry. And right now it's oriented it the wrong way. So we can easily fix that by changing our axes. Click on it again, it now brings it out in the right perspective. I'm going to align it to the end of the wall, and I'm going to say I'm going to bring it in 200 millimeters from the end, and that's where I'm going to start working leftwards on my wall. I'll bring in a pantry, bring in another applied end. I'll put a fridge next to it, another applied end. And I'm going to drop in a small cabinet, change the hinge, and I'm going to put a stove in here with a microwave underneath the upper cabinet. So I'm going to put an applied end in. And you can, like I said, you can work in any mode: perspective, plan, or elevation. It all works. You can do equally everything in each view. Go back to our pantry. We'll take our cabinet for our microwave. Take another applied end, and let's fill in the rest of the top. Okay, let's start working on our bottom. There are toggles for removing layers, so I'm going to remove the doors. And what I'm going to do is simply bring out a cabinet, size it to the inside of the applied end. Then, because there won't be an applied end on here because the stove will go next to it. And do the same thing on this side. Okay, starting to come along pretty well. Let's get rid of our dishwasher placeholder, and we'll put an actual dishwasher in there in a minute. Another thing that you can do is there is a resize function. And I'm going to take this wall and I'm going to make it, extend it from 4 feet, and you can type in imperial measure here, make it a 5-foot wall. them meet, and put applied ends on. And it's that simple. We've now done our room layout, and in our next session we will do the appliances and countertops.